Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a continuation of our editorials from Stop and Think TV, addressing certain issues that we'll be attempting to provide coverage of in the days ahead. Virtual reality. Is that a present danger? With the adoption of the internet and the social networks, what you have now is the capacity of 12 and unders to live in a reality of their own, outside of parental influence or supervision. It's a world they prefer, of course, because it's unlimited in the imagination. Anything goes. There is no judgment. You can share whatever you feel like, and somebody out there in the internet ether will relate and respond. And it gives them a sense of comfort, and it gives them a sense of power over their parents, that they, although youngsters, know something that the parents don't know. What happens as they get older? They hit puberty, become self-conscious, and rebellious and defiant, like all teenagers do. And they take this empowering that they've received through the virtual reality that they and their friends of their own age live within. And what? I don't know. That's what the future holds. Because when these people start to become of age, what grasp on reality will they have? Stop and Think TV, trying to provide news under an umbrella of recovery, would say that what we need to do is to recover our sense of responsibility as parents. Children would need to recover their sense of wonder over nature and things non-technological. And most importantly, this country would need to have to recover its sense of responsibility towards its own citizens. We don't know what the future holds, but the crises loom, and unless we get our heads out of the sand, we're not going to be able to face them. Can you imagine if a high percentage of high school graduates cannot tell you when the Civil War started? How good are they going to be able to run things when they become of age? What most people are doing is listening to this information, being gripped with even more fear, sticking their head in the sand and saying, I can't do anything about it, who cares? There's nothing that can be done. Or maybe I've seen too many movies. Maybe I'm like Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind. We'll jump onto the cause once we know that it's lost. But as long as there's breath, there's hope. And what we need to do is to empower parents, which we intend to try to do with Stop and Think TV programming, to give parents alternatives to trying to discuss items with their children that'll get them to stop and think, so that they can come out of the shell of living only amongst themselves in the vain imagination of the virtual world with their teenage and young and adolescent friends, and try to integrate themselves more and more into society. How many cases have I had of where the child was supposed to have visitation with the parent that weekend, but wouldn't and refused and created a big scene because he was playing his video game and it wasn't over yet, and they were trying to take him away from the video game, and he literally had a fit? Or similar situations. How many video game addicts who are 15 years of age have I talked to? How many people 12, 10, 9 years of age have absolutely no conscience whatsoever, because the world that they're living with and in is a virtual one that is conscience-less? Whether it's desperate housewives showing the teenage daughter, scaring the parents because she's a sociopath and has no semblance of right and wrong and no conscience. That's only a tip of the iceberg, folks. What we see on TV, they claim is only a reflection of what's going on in society. Well, you could debate it back and forth, whether or not they're adding to the problem and making it worse, or they're only reflecting what already exists. But either way, they're showing no responsibility by trying to address these issues, or trying to show in the dramatization of them the horror of what's happening amongst the young. We at Stop and Think TV don't wish to take sides, but we wish to stand for principles and for truth. And what we are asking people to do is to accept the reality of the fact that we need to recover from the insanity that we've gone through, because crises loom, and unless you have a clear head, you can't face them.